You've probably seen pictures of the Great Pacific Gyres. There are actually 5 of them around the world. Could I actually go back to the blank slide, please? So every single year, over 90% of plastics we produce, and that's 300 million tons of plastics, actually ends up in landfills, incinerators, and 12 million tons ends up in the oceans. This is a global crisis. Not only is it killing hundreds of millions of wildlife, but it actually directly affects the food safety of over 4 billion humans, resulting in cancer, as well as other kinds of hormonal diseases that affects all of us. A lot of you would think that this probably isn't my fault. I recycle. I'm a very good environmental steward. But from the past few months, my team has traced the plastics that actually go in our blue bin all the way to its end of life, to the landfills. And we have done this at 10 different waste facilities and discovered that over 50, sometimes up to 50% of the plastic material that you put in your blue bin still ends up in the landfill. And even the lucky plastics that do get recovered end up shipped over to China overseas, where along the Yangtze River, they're dumped into the oceans. So this is something that we are all responsible for. And looking at why this problem is really because plastic recycling is so uneconomical for low-value mixed contaminated plastics that we spend as a country $2 billion every year just on the landfill tipping costs associated with dumping plastics. So this is a huge opportunity that right now is uncaptured and is causing everybody a headache, from the city governments that are trying to get to zero waste and landfill diversion, all the way to the material recovery facilities that are each spending $1 to $3 million every year just to dump the plastics into landfill. My name is Miranda Wang, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of BioCellection, Inc. My co-founder and I started working on this technology back when we were in high school, and we became TED speakers at the official conference in 2013 for our early research. We've recruited a team since then comprised of PhD candidates from schools like Harvard, Berkeley, and Stanford, as well as UPenn, and we're bringing together industry experts who used to work at DuPont and Dow Chemical to make a technology that is able to convert mixed plastics, a variety of high-value products. So you can see that what we do is we take plastics and we're able to chemically first convert it into a variety of things, such as specialty chemicals. And these specialty chemicals can be used to feed cells that we have cultured in the lab, for example, these blue colonies, which are able to synthesize and produce high-value enzymes, as well as lipids that can be sold at hundreds of dollars per kilogram. But in addition to this, because the incoming material we get, and we're paid to get this material at about $40 to $65 per ton, we can actually turn this mixed material into a variety of other products as well, including mixtures such as similar to asphalt, as well as different kinds of biomass that can be sent over for fertilizer. And the high value end of this separation gives us these specialty chemicals and feedstock that can be used to feed engineered cells. So we're projecting that we can launch our first pilot in 2018, and we have 3 city governments are on board, including the San Jose city government, as well as really strong levels of product market fit indication from our customers. I hope you'll join us in turning a global crisis into an even bigger opportunity.
Great.
Thank you.
Judges' questions.
Is your process specific to certain plastics? For example, you have polyethylene terephthalate, polyethylene, and several different, when you recycle it, well, those little numbers on the bottom, they're all different. So do you have to segregate them?
The plastics are very different. So what you're looking at right now, that's me and my co-founder standing in an anaerobic digester facility in San Jose. So this is the kind of waste we can deal with. And if you look at that, that's 60% by volume mixed plastics, ranging from number 1 all the way to number 7 plastics. And these plastics, some of them are actually recyclable and have programs where the government would actually incentivize the recycling process, but is missed because sometimes after the crushing process, it becomes smaller than 2 inches. So the current recycling machines are actually constantly missing it. And they process hundreds of tons by volume this material every day, and sorting is mostly done manually. And this has been a situation in the waste industry for decades already. So it's not an inefficiency that can be easily solved. So this is the sort of waste we're dealing with, because the plastic challenge is not the challenge of clean plastics that are already isolated. The plastic challenge is a mixed and contaminated challenge, and no one is able to currently deal with it.
So how long does your process take to break down, to transform the plastics?
Could I get the slides back up again?
Graphics, please.
So this is a schematic of what the operation will look like. At full size, this machine would range from between the size of a room to a house, depending on how much volume this facility processes. And at target, this machine will be able to process about 10 tons of plastic waste per hour.
How energy efficient is the machine?
So this machine is going to use a series of conversion methods, such as oxidation decomposition, which basically means that you would need some initial energy in the beginning to heat up and add pressure to the system. But after that, it's very self-sustained because the plastic in itself acts as the material that generates. I mean, we're essentially catalyzing everything. We're breaking everything down. So you don't need the energy to keep going into the system. You just need it to start the system, and it's a breakdown process. But the specific numbers is something we're still modeling at the moment.
Just by curiosity, the number 91 on that box, what exactly does it mean, efficiency?
Yeah, so yeah, there will be a conversion metric, and right now we're not at 91. Right now at lab scale, we're ranging about 65 to 70%, which means what we're able to actually convert from the starting material into 100% to valuable products. So about 30% right now is hard to capture and is in the form of different kinds of off gases, and is something that we are going to be working on to capture, hopefully with the help of ocean exchange.
Presumably the high-value products you're going to be making can be made already from other feedstocks. So what's the price comparison for your final products versus ones made from current, probably cleaner?
Graphics again, please.
So this is what our development milestone looks like. We're going to be working on the separation a step at a time. So it's very easy in the beginning for us to sort out this sort of waxy, pulpy material that can be used to replace some of asphalt in construction material. And you can get that from an extrusion method in the very beginning. But as we move forward, the idea is to eventually get all the way up to the very fine grade dicarboxylic acids, which can be used to feed microbes in biotechnology processes. So that shows you, the bottom chart shows you the timeline that we have and the different prices, of the different end markets that we can explore as we get there.
12 years to 2028, that's a long, long product cycle. Why does it take so long? Or what would it take to make it shorter?
I don't actually believe that the goal for what we're doing should be to try to get to market as fast as possible. We're inventing a technology that doesn't exist right now around the world. And what we can do is, we know by 2018 we can pilot to purify the first product that comes out, which can already enter the market at a price way lower than what is currently offered, because we actually get our supply for $40 to $65 per ton. And also the outgoing material, we actually mitigate a lot of our costs because this product that we build is a machine that can be placed on site at waste facilities. So a lot of the operating expenses are things that we don't actually need to directly bear. And there are different models we can implement, including...
Miranda, time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Big hand.